Hi guys, I'm back from my hiatus and so are they, but my hiatus was longer because science.
I'm gonna have a longer hiatus because I have to do rehearsals every other day almost.
Hun, we do the recordings on your phone. We're all gonna have a fucking hiatus.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. This is our 5 subscriber special. And today we are killing off Officer Dunn, also known as
Me.
So yeah, we're killing a bean in our squad. So we're gonna be down no longer 3 beans in a pod, it's 2. And one's a lesbian.
I'm bisexual.
So am I.
We technically all have a little bit of lesbian inside of us.
Yeah. Boy, let's just get this done.
You know you love me.
No.
Everyone loves me. You can't say no.
No one loves you.
Everyone
you guys
loves me.
I mean, you guys that hate each other, but you guys are kind of neutral now.
No, fuck you.
You mean neutral?
Neutral, like you guys don't kill each other, but you also don't like each other.
Oh, I thought you said we're kind of mutual now, and I'm like, you mean neutral?
No, I said neutral. Officer Dunn pulled to a stop in the mall parking lot, responding to Chief Burke's order to return. In the light of the day, this is an abandoned construction site, an ugly blemish on a flat, deserted landscape. You can't tell from looking if it's been built up or torn down, Dunn thought. Can't tell creation from destruction at a distance. He liked that phrase. He turned it over in his head for a moment, staring at the place. On impulse, he radioed dispatch. "Hey, Nora," he said. Just do a girl voice.
Done?
She answered crisply.
What's going on?
"Back at the mall for another look," he said.
Killing them.
Oh, bring me back a soft pretzel.
She teased. He laughed and broke the connection. As he walked, that'll be his last call to anyone. As he walked briskly through the mall, Dunn was at least grateful the children were not there this time. As the youngest member of the Hurricane Police Department, oh no!
It's even more depressing. The smartest person ends up being the youngest person.
Dunn always took care to think of teenagers as children, even though he knew how the small gap between them was. If he could bring them to believe he was a responsible adult, hopefully at some point he would believe it too.
You are responsible, sir.
Dunn flipped on his flashlight as he reached the entrance.
That's why everyone doesn't know what to call him. He's a baby police officer. Officer Dunn. I mean, Mr. What the fuck? And that's how you get the shit scared out of you. Gonna push up my glasses nonchalant.
To the narrow alleyway that led to Freddy Fazbear's. He swept the beam up and down the halls ahead of him, but the alley was empty of life. He took a deep breath and went in. Dunn kept to the wall, his shoulders brushing lightly against the rough brick as he tried to avoid the puddles that pooled beneath the leaking pipes.
When you said swept down the hall, for some reason, my brain managed to hear something about on a pole, and so I was just imagining poor Officer Dunn doing a stripper thing, and I'm like,
I thought he was sweeping down the halls really
bright
fast.
beam of his flashlight illuminated the alley almost as well as the overhead bulbs, but somehow the light was not comforting. It only made the place look stark and grim. The shelves of tools rejected paint cans now woeful and exposed. As he moved towards the door to the restaurant, something tiny and cold landed on his head. And he startled, swinging his light up like a weapon and pressing his back against the wall as his defense against the threat. Another cold drop of water landed on his cheek. He took in a deep breath. When at last he reached the outer door of the restaurant, the shelf that had blocked it was gone. The chains seemed so permanently fixed in place were hanging loose, and the door was cracked open slightly. The immense rusted padlock lay in the dirt, its shackles hanging open. Dunn kicked it away from the door. He dug his fingers into the gap, prying until he could get a grip on it, then pulled at the door with both hands until it screeched open wide, enough for him to enter. He crept down the inner passage, with his light held out in front of him, hugging the wall tight to one side. The air seemed to change as he moved close to the interior of the restaurant, and Dunn felt... How long is it? Oh. And Dunn felt a crawling chill that penetrated his uniform and fed his growing anxiety. "Don't freak out, Dunn," he said aloud, and then felt instantly foolish. He reached to the main dining area and stopped, sweeping the light over each wall in turn. The light seemed dimmer inside, swallowed by the space. The room was empty, but it was just as he remembered. Hold on. I'd eat this now, but I don't have a fucking spoon.
I'll eat it.
But she gets the more nutritional meal.
I just like French vanilla. That's okay. I just like French
Let's
vanilla.
say you know I skip lunch almost.
Shut up. He reached the main dining area and stopped. Oh, just when I remembered it when he was a kid. He had been 10 when the tragedy started, 11 when they ended. His birthday party was supposed to be at Freddy's, but after the first disappearance, his mother had canceled it, inviting his friends to his house. Time hired a clown, which proved equally terrifying. Smart move, Mom, Dunn thought. The beam played over the little carousel, which he had never ridden, claiming he was too old for it. Just before the beam light reached the stage, Dunn stopped and swallowed hard. The rabbit took him, the kid had said. Dunn shook himself and played the light across the stage. The figures were there, just as he remembered, and unlike the carousel, they did not seem to diminish in size. They were exactly as he recalled. And for a moment, an almost painful nostalgia swelled in his chest. As he gazed at them, remembering, he noticed their eyes were all fixed oddly forward, like they were watching something on the far side of the room. The flashlight trained in front of him. Dunn approached the stage until he was standing only a few feet from it. Does it really have to be this descriptive? Like, is it just me, or is it like really descriptive? Really descriptive.
Like, it's okay if you can describe stuff, like detail is always important, but when you put so much detail where you describe every little thing, it's not necessary.
And he stared at each of the animals in turn. Bonnie was holding his guitar jauntily, as if he might begin strumming whenever the mood struck him, and Chica and her cupcake seemed to be sharing some arcane secret. Freddy with his microphone.
Every time you say Chico, just remember that time in middle school where we were all obsessed with it. And
Shut up, I still am.
no, I said we were all. Like, we all had the weird nicknames. And
You still do in my heart.
the original group.
Oh.
And we all ran from Chico.
Freddy, with his microphone, stared out into the distance, unblinking. Something moved behind him, and Dunn rolled around, his heart racing. The flashlight found nothing, and he swept nervously from side to side, revealing only empty tables. He glanced back nervously at Bonnie, but the rat was still frozen in his own inscrutable...
The rat? Reverie.
Dunn took shallow breaths, holding himself completely still and listening. His senses kicked in high gear and with adrenaline. After a moment, the noise came again, a shuffling sound, this time coming from off to the right. He swept the light instantly toward it. There was an open doorway, and beyond it, a wall. Crouching down, Dunn made his way down the hall,
/purse.
keeping to the side as though something might come running past. Why am I here alone?
Attached to that.
Why am I here alone? He knew the answer.
Gracias.
His sergeant hadn't taken the search seriously. In truth, neither had Dunn. After all, it was just Chief's son again making trouble. It's probably just Carlton, Dunn reminded himself.
Dunn, I thought you were smarter than that.
He reached the end of the hall with the door stood ajar. With one hand, Dunn gave the
smart
door
off when they're being stupid.
an inward push, dropping low and to the side as he did. The door swung inward and nothing happened. He pulled the nightstick from his belt. Its heft was unfamiliar. He had never had much need for it in Hurricane. Now, though, he gripped its hard rubber handle like a lifeline. Yeah, it can't save you, honey. The office was not quite empty. There was a small desk and folded up metal chairs leaning against it.
I thought he held the night shift in his hand, but I'm like, but what now?
A large cabinet stood against one wall. Its door opened just a crack. There was no exits other than the one Dunn was standing in. He swept the light up and down the length of the cabinet and took a deep breath. He balanced his nightstick lightly in his hand, assuring himself of its presence, and carefully assessed the small space. Standing to the side, he used the stick again to open the door, moving slowly. It came open easily, and again everything was still. Relieved, Dunn looked inside. The cabinet was empty, except for a costume. It was Bonnie, or rather it wasn't. The face was the same, but the rabbit's fur was yellow. Finally! Jesus. It was slumped lifelessly against the back wall of the cabinet, its eyes dark, gaping holes. The rabbit took him. The kid hadn't been lying then. Carlton must have gotten someone to dress up in this outfit, help him play his trick. Still, Dunn, uneased, did not abate. He did not want to touch the thing. He lowered his light and stuck his nightstick back into his belt intending to go. Before he could turn, the costume pitched forward, landing on Dunn with the lifeless weight of a heavy corpse. For a moment, it did not move. Then all at once, was writhing violently, grabbing him with strong, inhuman hands. Dunn screamed, a desperate high sound, struggling as the rabbit gripped his shirt, then his arm. Dunn felt a sudden vicious pain. A small, detached part of his mind thought, he broke it. He broke my arm. But the pain was washed numb by terror as the rabbit swung him around and slammed him into the cabinet door, taking Dunn's weight easily if he were a child. Dunn struggled to breathe. The rabbit's arm was pressed against his neck so tightly that every movement choked him. Just when he thought he was on the brink of passing out, the pressure lifted and Dunn gasped with relief, clutching his throat. Then he saw the knife. The rabbit held a slim silver blade. Its big matted paws should have been too clumsy, but Dunn knew as he stared down at the rabbit had done this before and would easily do it again. Dunn screamed, an indistinct shriek. He had no hope that he would be heard. It was only a guttural, despairing noise. He breathed deep and did it again, a bestial sound, his whole body vibrating with it, as if it could somehow defend him against what would happen next. The knife went in. Dunn felt it tear through skin and muscle.
No, Dunn!
Felt it sever things he could not name to plant itself deep in his chest. As he seized with pain and terror, the rabbit pulled him close, almost in an embrace. Dunn's head went light. He was losing consciousness. As he looked up, he could see 2 rows of smiling teeth, a horrid and yellow, and the costume peeling at the edge of the mouth. The 2 gaping holes for eyes looked down at him. They were dark and hollow, but the creature drew near enough that Dunn could see smaller eyes peering back at him from deep within the mask. They held Dunn's gaze patiently. Dunn felt his legs go numb, his vision clouding. He wanted to scream again, to somehow voice his final outrage, but he could not move his face. Could not rise to breathe out a cry. The rabbit held him upright, supporting his weight, and its eyes were the last thing Dunn ever saw.
Can we stop reading now, though I can process this I want to know how a dead man can easily just pin him down.
He's not dead yet.
Oh, he's not?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is before Charlie kills him.
Purple guy?
Yeah, Dave. My boy Dave.
But he's still in the costume.
Yeah, but he's in the costume though. In the book, you'll see later when he comes to Carlton, he'll walk in with half the suit on. So he wears the suit still.
Oh, but it didn't spring on him.
No, that happens at the very end of this.
Okay, I was
Charlie yanks on the thing or whatever, and it snaps into place, and he dies.
I was so confused.
Yeah, he's not dead yet. But then again, I have to wonder if she didn't put any water on the spring trap, spring locks. She just pulled him the wrong way, and it snapped into place. So when it says that the rabbit kind of swung towards him, he could have had one wrong move, and that would have impaled him. So why would he wear that? He knows he's going to kill him.
That's a great question, one that I don't know.
He knows he's going to kill him. After this sad death, we go back to fucking Charlie.
No, I don't want to go back to Charlie. Dunn, you should have brought yourself some backup. Just had one officer with you. Be hey, I just need you to back me up just in case shit goes south.
Just in case a yellow rabbit decides to fucking try to eat me.
So yeah, Officer Dunn's dead now. The only sensible character is gone.
Now then,
No.
I told you I was going to do this.
Do what?
Remember, on the bus? I told you I was going to read this thing. When did Mom get here? Oh, that's
Right there.
Well, never mind. I gotta go. Bye. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. But I won't be here for the video because Wednesday's equal therapy. I don't care if the whole world knows that I go to therapy. Honestly, you don't have to edit that out.
I don't know your name, so.
Yeah, but I still don't care if people know that. Mom, for some reason, though, she always says doctor's appointment.
So, how do you feel about his death?
I feel sad. It's the only emotion I've experienced in this book. It was the only the only character that knew what he was doing, except he didn't bring backup, so that was partially your fault.
Well, he didn't bring backup because they didn't believe. Remember, they didn't believe that
yeah, that's
Carlton.
right.
Yeah, so they had done believing that it was just a prank as well.
That's also a stupid thing. There's chains in the door, man. That could give you a hint. Okay, maybe. Just maybe.
But hear me out. I don't think she understands how police officers work. Police officers always have a partner wherever they go.
Yeah. It's always their backup. Just
Yeah, they always have their partner with them. Unless he's like... No, he's not off the clock. He just radioed in to someone else. So, no, he's not off the clock. So he should have his partner there with him. Every single cop has a partner. To make sure if your ass gets shot and killed, they know where you're at. The partner knows where you're at, how it happened, who did it, you know. So where's his partner?
If his partner doesn't give a shit, like, okay.
No, his partner will be fired.
I don't know. I guess they just needed a death in the books, like going, we can't kill any of our main characters because I love them too much, so what can we kill
Yes, you
off?
could have, Arthur. You could have killed Carlton. You could have killed
You could have killed
Lamar. You could have killed Lamar off because he doesn't come back. You could have killed Carlton. You could have killed... Well, you could have killed Jessica.
Marla and
Could have
Carlton
killed
come
Marla.
back. Marla and Carlton come back, though, so the most reasonable explanation is you could have killed Lamar since he never comes back.
Exactly. And it would have been sensible. Like, Dunn's kind of like a background character until now. He's like a background character that's kind of like just there. But if you killed off Lamar, it'd have so much more like emotion into it.
Yeah, but
Like, holy shit, Lamar's dead now. That's awful. Like, why did we let this happen?
yeah, it's like none of the main characters die until like Charlie's death, which even then, it gets explained that she's an AI unit, so she was dead to begin with. So you're like, what's the point of that? Then?
I honestly feel like she put that in at the last moment. Like, that whole AI unit in the last moment. Because from, like, just reading this and Charlie's, like, emotions, like, she's not, like... How fucking advanced is she, honey?
Like, it's not even revealed until the third book, because, like, she has to, like, incorporate sister location to the lore,
That's
so
why
it's...
she just yeeted it in there.
Yeah. Like, well, we gotta put this shit in there, so... Like, it's so weird, because the reason why it does not work for sister location is that they try to incorporate, like, okay, Circus Baby is Elizabeth Afton, but she's also Charlie, so she's two people. What the... It's so weird. Like, she's possessed by Elizabeth, but she was built to resemble Charlie. So it's like, what is she supposed to be? And then she can look so human-like. To which I'm going like, okay, so a 7-foot animatronic can look like a teenage girl, because that makes sense. But like, I refuse to believe that this book has no magic. Like, it's gotta have some magic in there.
Yeah, there's gotta be some poof.
Just like,
But like I was saying, Lamar's death would have been like way bigger impact.
because we just got introduced to
We
this
get
character.
yeah, well, first of all, we just entered. So you should never ever write a book where you introduce the character then kill it off, because it's insensible and it makes the book worse. It makes the book awful because you just put him in there to kill him off. You should never do that. As a writer, I would know you should never fucking do that, because that's stupid and it deters the reader. They're like, okay,
What was the point of them?
what was the point? Yeah, exactly. What's the point of them? There's no plot behind it. There's no relevance behind it. They don't get gratification. They don't get emotional over it. So they could have killed Lamar off.
Who does?
Well, I'm not saying they. She didn't have a fucking editor. God damn it. She could have killed off Lamar, which would have been more emotional for the entire gang. It would have given Springtrap something to do against Charlie, because he's always after Charlie, apparently. It would have made so much more of an impact if they had killed off Lamar. But yeah, you should never, ever introduce a character then kill it off, because that just deters your entire reader. They're just like, oh,
Well, there goes that character.
should I keep reading? Because are you going to keep doing this? Like, that just makes them not want to read the rest of it.
And also in the second book, why do you pull out Springtrap? Like, Charlie, you could have just left him trapped in there and be like, oh, well, no point in the second book.
I think her goal was to make sure he was dead.
But why leave him out in the fucking open?
I don't know.
Like, just check for vitals. Like, is he breathing? Oh, he's breathing. We're just gonna put him back in here and we'll be good to go. Like, if I remember, she just kind of looked at it and said, he looks dead enough. And then she didn't, like, feel
That's
for
exactly.
anything.
She looked at him and said, oh, he's dead.
It's like, oh, he's just a bloody mess. He's definitely dead. It's like, no, you check for pulses, you check for breathing.
FNAF 3 didn't happen.
It's like, if she would check for vitals or breathing, she felt that he was like barely alive, like barely hanging on, she would have been like, oh, time to lock you back up, and I'm gonna go get the government to nuke this place.
Exactly.
That would have been a great ending. Like,
Yeah,
she goes
killing off a non-main character and just introducing them is shit. You should never do that.
Have Carlton be dead by the time
Exactly.
they find out.
Because in the book, later on in the book, you come back to Carlton's point of view, and he's like from here down, he's in a bunny suit.
Okay. What's up with these rabbits? Do they have like a rabbit fetish or something?
Your mom's here.
Oh,
He's in a
shit.
bunny suit, and he almost dies. But he doesn't die. I'll have to explain it to you later.
He doesn't die?
No.
How does he not die if
But
it's
he
like...
I'll have to explain it to you later.
So, like, does his legs get almost decapitated?
It's Charlie.